Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV, and I hope you're all doing very well indeed. I'm joined by the Bee and the Bang, Bernard. Janine, how you doing, mate?
Yes, I'm all my fireworks shirt on, all my electricity firing. More
So
electricity on here than on me, mate. That's for sure.
that's the third kit, isn't it?
Yeah. They've got. They're going to be. We're going to talk Burnley, aren't we? Apparently, they're wearing the second kit tomorrow against Burnley.
The
So
away kit,
the
which is
the
just
proper
released.
away kit. Yeah,
Yeah.
not the third kit, the away kit. Because
Yeah.
people were saying, well, what are we going to wear? Because we won't play sky blue against Burnley because they wear blue. So. But I said, well, they probably will release the other one just the day before, and that's what happened.
Hey. Are you an in the know, Bernard? Do you know anything that we don't?
No. Just I think the word is. Let me hang on. A lot of people don't have it nowadays. Common sense, I think it is. I think that's what it's called.
That's uncalled for. That's uncalled for. Hey guys, we're here to preview the game against Burnley up at Turf Moor, Burnley versus Manchester City, to open the Premier League season on a Friday night. We ain't got tickets, have we, buddy?
No,
Very hard to get tickets at City.
It's like I said, I don't think we won the treble. How difficult it is to get tickets nowadays.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wanted to go to that first game, partly because it was not far away, and partly because it's like we just won the treble, and it's your first opportunity to beat your chest. You know, I think you said something wrong there. It's your first opportunity to beat your chest out in front of everybody. I'll tell you afterwards what I was going to say, but it is.
I'm imagining all sorts, mate. It's not pretty.
But it is, and people want to walk around as City won it and all that. So yeah, people want to parade themselves around. But it's going to be an interest. Obviously, there's a lot to think about. You know, when we were talking about who City might get in the first game of the season, there's people like you. Wouldn't it be a coincidence if we landed up with Burnley? Look, we spanked them last season 6-0 in the FA Cup. But this, they've got Vincent Kompany there. Obviously, that link, it's just up the road. It's not far away at all. And it's a start of a new season. It's a big game for Burnley. They'll be well up for it. There might be a few nerves as well for some of those players in the Premier League, as well as it's up to us to. We always start pre-season about 2 weeks after everybody else. Always takes us a little.
How long were they out? They were only out for a couple of seasons, weren't they? Out of the Premier.
Yeah, that sounds right. The thing is, if I remember correctly, they were in pre-season. Burnley were in pre-season before we finished last season. Before the Champions League final, they were already in pre-season. I think the Monday before that, about the 4th of June, I think they were in pre-season. So they will be itching to get going. And they've been in pre-season 2 months or something ridiculous, but they're gonna go for it this season. Let's have a quick look at who's come and gone. Important players. I think obviously losing Wout Weghorst is a big problem for them. But no, the biggest thing is obviously is James Trafford coming in to Burnley. And I know we've got a video where we are
coming in as the number one.
This is it. This is what's going to be interesting, Bernard. Now you really put me under pressure here. For the money they spent, you'd think he'd come in as a number one, but they did buy another goalkeeper. I can't tell you who it was, but they did buy another goalkeeper as well. But let's talk about James Trafford briefly. They're spending between, I think, 16, 17 million quid down on him and another couple of million add-ons. He hasn't played a minute of Premier League football. He's been playing in League One for Bolton. And Bolton fans said he was far too good for them, far too good for their league. And he played in the Euros, the under-21 Euros, where in 6 games, I think this is the first time ever, 6 games, no goals conceded. Played pretty well. Didn't he save a penalty? An important
penalty. Well, he knew he was. He said, told his teammates he'd save a penalty. He's not lacking in confidence, I don't think, which as a goalkeeper isn't a bad thing.
You need it. And he looks pretty good. So I think he'll do well for Burnley. I'm not too sure about all the other signings. So But
Generally,
generally,
is it Amdouni or something? A centre forward, 18 million they paid for him. Amdouni or something like that. Which I've never heard of the guy.
Zeki, he come from Basel in
Basel, yeah.
in
And tell you
Switzerland.
what, the last couple of friendlies they had, they beat Benfica, which isn't bad. I mean, I'm not sure how long Benfica are in their sort of pre-season preparations, and they drew with Real Betis. So I mean, they're certainly, as you say, they've probably been preparing for 2 or 3 months for this.
But no, things you mentioned that get his name right, Zeki Amdouni. He joined from Basel on a 5-year deal. Scored 12 goals last season, so he's going to have a bit of confidence about him. But when we do previews, we tend to focus on Manchester City because, let's be honest, we know a lot more about Manchester City and the players and everything else than we do about other clubs. So it's a big game, and for City, obviously, first game back, it's going to be very interesting. I think everybody's going to be having a very keen eye because we've got Guardiola come in. Walker looks like he's staying. Bernardo's staying. We've got Kovacic, who isn't injured. And it's just to be interesting to see the makeup of the team and how it's going to change, because it is. The way we play has to change because there's no Ilkay Gundogan. There's no one to replace him. No one can adequately replace him because he had so many facets to his game that you might need 2 or 3 players to replace one person. But I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to ask you just a couple of things. Is Guardiola going to start against Burnley?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think Pep wants to start. I mean, I know it might not work, but I think he wants to start the season okay, accepting he's got a few little frailties and a few little things to sort out. And I think he'll play a little bit safe at the start. I can't see him starting Guardiola against. It would be a good game to start him against, in theory. Burnley shouldn't terrify anyone, but as Pep has said himself, the new teams coming into the division, always difficult games because they're, as you say, they're up for it. They're going to be the crowd are going to be up for it and everything. So it would possibly be a good game to start. I can't see it. He's got enough defenders there in that position to not go. You just stick him on the bench. If you can give him a few minutes, give him a few minutes. Having said that, if we play 20 minutes injury time at the end of 90 minutes or something stupid like that, I mean, someone said to me today about what are we going to play? You know, what we're going to do with these games? Because I said, well, tell you what, Pep will have to start playing some substitutes, won't he? Because he doesn't like doing it. He doesn't like putting substitutes on, but he's going to have to. So he's going to have to learn a new skill this season as well. I just can't see Guardiola starting this. We've got too much strength in defence to risk him. And he's a great player, of course he is, but he's got to get to know us first, hasn't he? So,
I mean, I'd be tempted actually to wait 5 days. Play him against Sevilla in the Super Cup. Not start. I don't know. But on the other hand, Pep wants to win the Super Cup. You don't want to, mess it up. Yeah. But you got to balance it out because you just can't go there and play all your first team players and say, right, KDB, KDB, you're going to play against Burnley on Friday night. On Wednesday, you're going to play against Sevilla. On Saturday, after the Wednesday, 3 days later, you're going to play at home against Newcastle. You want your first team out against Newcastle. So you've got to be a little bit careful. And yes, it's a price that you have to pay for being so successful that you can have a lot of games. You want to win these trophies, absolutely. But you've got to keep your eye on the Premier League as well. So I suspect you're going to go for a very similar team to what finished last season, apart from the fact that Gundogan's gone. So I'm going to pick brains here. Edison in goal?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, someone was querying that the other day. I said, are you mad? I mean, Edison's in goal. Simple as that,
Haaland up front?
Absolutely, yeah. No problem there with that one.
Rodri as DM?
Absolutely. They're set in stone, those three.
KDB?
If he's fit, I still think he might not be fit enough to start,
Okay, let's do it properly then. Let's go from the back. So we've got Edison in goal. Left back. Let's say we're going to put 4 at the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well, what's up with Aki? Why didn't Aki play at Wembley? He wasn't even in the squad. I assume he's fit. He's been training, hasn't he?
Yeah. It's very interesting. I've seen a lot of people. I mean, Nathan Aki was one of our best players last season. Okay, for me, I've seen a lot of people say that Nathan Aki, they would drop Aki for Guardiola. Okay, that's a bit odd, to do that. I think he might have been injured.
Mina Kanji played left back, didn't he, in the Community Shield? And let's face it, all right, although we did all right against Saka at the Etihad, of course, that night, but it was home advantage to us, etc. He looked poor. He looked poor in the Community Shield, and I would dread to think of him starting left back again. I'm hoping Aki is fit. I'm hoping he's fine, because if Aki's not fit again, if he's injured again, I'm worried we're going to have one of those seasons with him where he's going to be in and out, and I don't want that. I want Aki to be available. So I'm hoping Aki's fit, and if Aki's fit, he plays left back for me.
Right, I'll give you an update on Guardiola and Aki from the horse's mouth from Pep. Asked about Guardiola because it's the day before the game, so the press conference is today, not tomorrow. Pep said, "Yeah, he's ready." Okay, so he said apparently he's settled in perfectly, and it says here in the MEN, City have been given a further boost in defence as Nathan Aki has been training well and is ready for action. The Dutchman missed the trip to Wembley due to injury, but he's good to return to action. Pep said he's training good. He's ready too. So obviously, that's great. And Pep, briefly, another point that I'm just going to mention is obviously we talked about Vincent Kompany taking charge and everything else. And Pep's been impressed by the job his former captain has done, and he's wary of the threat they pose. Pep said normally the first games are difficult, especially against newly promoted teams. They have energy and want to start well. Vinny, as in Vincent Kompany, knows us well. He did an incredible job and destroyed the championship. To win is so difficult in the competition. He's going to do really, really well in the Premier League. It is going to be a difficult game. And I don't doubt it's going to be a difficult game. It's not, we're not arrogant enough to say it's going to be another 6-0 like in the FA Cup, where they were a bit, I'll be honest, they were a bit embarrassing. I was disappointed with Burnley and the fight they put up. They did all right for about half an hour or something, but then we just battered them.
Yeah. I mean, he took the game to us, but once he let a goal in, that was it, really.
So, Bernard, put your thinking cap on. How is this game going to pan out? How's it going to work out? I'm going to get a score prediction. I'm going to push you on that, because I want a better score prediction than you did in a Community Shield. Some people listening to you would have lost the shirt with your prediction for that Community Shield.
Andy Morrison got it right, but he didn't get the penalty. He said 1-1, but we'd win on penalties. So
I said we'd lose. So there you go.
Yeah, well, I would have said we lose. I'm trying to be positive, mate. I mean, stop doing this to me. I'm trying to be positive with my team. One thing that worries me, though, mate, I mean, it does worry me, is, as I say, there's a lot of fallout about this injury time, isn't there? We're going to have to put a lot more teams to bed. We can't be hanging on to 1-goal leads or letting the team back in it.
And then 10 minutes of injury time.
Yeah, it's just we've got to start making sure Ireland's bagging him, or if he's not bagging him, someone else is. That does worry. I mean, it should worry every other team, of course, as well. But we weren't really coming back from behind him. Arsenal were good at it. Obviously, they're very, very good at it. We found that last season. We found that on Sunday. But City usually it doesn't help us. Usually we've won a game easily, and it's not a big panic, and we're not struggling to come back into a game normally. So I think this is, I know it sounds daft, but is a negative for us, even though it's quite right to play what time should be.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit of a negative, because where we do sort of lead 2-1 or 1-0 or whatever, I think we're more likely to concede perhaps than other teams. It sounds daft. I know it probably does sound daft, but I just have that feeling. So yeah, Burnley. I don't want to be going into the last 5 or 10 minutes just winning by an odd goal. That's for sure. So, but I predicted 3-1. I'll stick with my 3-1 that I predicted. Andy's predicted 4-1. I'll stick with my 3-1 for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Oh, it's tough. I'm it'll be interesting. Oh, well, I'll be interested to see how the defense lines up. That's the first thing, and how they play, because, like we've said in other discussions, we've got a lot of very, very good defenders, and we should be defensively very strong. We shouldn't be letting too many goals in with the defenders we've got. You know, the likes of Johnny Stones, Ruben Diaz, Aki, and Akanji, now Guardiola. We still got Laporte. We've got Walker, Rico Lewis. Have I missed anybody out? Sergio Gomez. I mean, we got a ton of defensive players there. And surely between them 9 players or whatever, Pep should be able to pick 3 or 4 that can work as a cohesive unit and not give too many chances away and not give too many goals away. So I'm going to go for something quite remarkable. I'm going to go for a clean sheet. 2-0 to City. I'm going to go 2-0 City. I'd take that all day long. I don't... Look, last season showed us what happens in the Community Shield doesn't count for anything. What happens in the early part of the season is important, but it's the business end of the season that matters. I just want to get an early 3 points. I don't care if someone else goes and wins 4-0. We don't need to be top after the first game. So, you know, I want us to take it steady. I want us to conserve some energy, because we're going to have without a doubt, this season, we've got 38 league games. We've got the Club World Cup. We've got the Super Cup. That's 3 games. That gets us up to 41. Champions League, you'd be very disappointed if you don't play at least 10 games. That's up to 51. Carabao Cup, 2 or 3 games minimum. That's 54. FA Cup, 4. We're going to be doing 60 games. And if, like Liverpool, a couple of seasons back, they played 66 games that season. Now, we'll be playing, I think we have to play at least 60 games this season. It's going to be a long, tiring season, a lot to win. So I want to get in there, like you say. Don't leave it 1-0 with 5 minutes to go or injury time. Get that 2-goal lead, because 10 or 12 minutes of injury time, it's going to be very interesting to see what it's going to be like on the first league game. It's going to be very interesting. And even at 2-0, you think, well, you still got 10 minutes to come back. It's still a long time. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the season, whether players are getting tired, whether, like you say, managers are making more substitutions, whether there'll be more injuries, because players they're used to playing a certain amount of time, and now they're playing an extra 15 or 20 minutes a game. And you see players, when games go into extra time, players, despite how fit they are, they get cramp. And once your body's, for want of a better word, overused, you're more likely to get injuries. So that's all going to be interesting. But my gut reaction is 2-0 City, get the win, move on with the season. Hey, Bernard, thank you so much. Thanks for dazzling me with your shirt, with that was it the lightning shirt? I think the shirt moves quicker than either of us do these days with that lightning. But hey, there we go. That's the Burnley preview done, guys. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We've done fantastically well over the last month, over 1,000 new subscribers. And once again, I thank all the people who've subscribed, all the people who've commented, all the people who've contributed, like Bernard, like Mike, who is Bolt from the Blue, like Press Switch Blue. That's Colin Savage, our wonderful finance expert. And you guys, again, I'll say a massive thanks to you. And I'll repeat, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell icon and you'll be notified as soon as new videos come out. We'll see you around, Blues.